Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Hammered Corner. In today's video, we have an insight into the very common practice of counterfeiting during the reign of George III. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a video here on the channel. On screen now, you can see two coins that I have in my own collection. Both coins were minted at 12 pence or 1 shilling, but one is real and one is a counterfeit with all the silver worn away. Counterfeiting is sufficiently prevalent throughout history that it has been called the world's second oldest profession. Coinage of money began in the region of Lydia around 600 BC. Before the introduction of paper money, the most prevalent method of counterfeiting involved mixing base metals with pure gold or silver. A common practice was to shave the edges of coins, and this is known as clipping. Precious metals collected in this way could be used to produce counterfeit coins. A foray is an ancient type of counterfeit coin in which a base metal core has been plated with a precious metal to resemble its solid metal counterpart. But when it comes to my George III shilling, they too would have been silver plated, using as little silver in the process to still get away with a convincing looking coin. Counterfeit coins have been with us for as long as coins have been around, about 2,800 years. But most of these forgeries tended to be cast or copper cored silver coins, although come the turn of the late 16th century, when milled coins came into circulation, when silver and gold coins were struck solely for the privileged classes, and little was given to the growing merchant class with their need for supply of small chain copper coins for everyday transactions, an official blind eye was turned to the large issue of private merchant tokens which emerged, weighing less than the official copper halfpenny and farthing, which gave merchants an opportunity to profit. These tokens soon outnumbered the tower-struck official coinage by a large majority, causing the government a really inflationary concern. Counterfeiting was so rampant by 1771 that a new anti-forgery law was passed, and the charge of striking illicit copper coins was now made a felony. Many forgers were caught and prosecuted, but this had little impact on the profitable backstreet trade, and for the next 20 years, a large proportion of the copper in circulation was still counterfeit. In 1532, King Henry VIII passed Statute 22, allowing that all counterfeiters, swindlers, and coin forgers may be put to death by boiling oil or water. This painful death was witnessed by crowds who came a long distance to watch the cruel scene. Prolonged scalding would boil the skin, which would peel off, exposing muscle, causing breaches in major arteries and veins, and a slow painful demise, literally bleeding to death whilst frying. In the years following the reign of Henry's daughter Elizabeth I, the punishments for counterfeiting developed into a more conventional hanging for men, and an uproar broke out when the punishment for women was to be burned alive. It wasn't until the Treason Act of 1790 was revoked and reviewed that it was at that time that both women and men were hanged for such crimes. The last person to be hanged for the crime of coining took place in London, when the coiner Edward Lowe met his making at the gallows outside the Old Bailey in London on the 22nd of November 1827. Laws were passed that offered punishments for coining counterfeits, but punishments also included being in possession of counterfeit coins that would see them being shipped off to the American colonies in the 17 and 1800s, with the suspended threat of hanging as a deterrent to prevent the perpetrators returning to the British Isles. So looking at my examples, the real shilling weighs 5.6 grams, the full weight, and the copper counterfeit weighs 4.4 grams, pierced and underway, and would have been coated in silver. It would have been that this could have been pierced for suspension around the neck, as the coins would have been cut instead to reveal the copper core if authenticity was a concern. There are hundreds of variants of these coins to collect, from coppers to Irish bank tokens, and when comparing both coins, you can see that although very worn, the counterfeit is extremely similar to its real counterpart, which is why coining copper-cored silver coins was a huge issue. The counterfeiters would have minted these coins extremely cheap, and then paid for goods to the value of 12 pence, or getting change back in full silver. And if this area of numismatic takes your interest, then I will leave a link to a great book that I use in the video thanks to Philip Russell. The book is called Counterfeit Georgian Copper Coins by Richard Coleman, and is a great stepping stone into learning a fraction into what was a huge numismatic crisis in the 18th century. So there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Be sure to check out more videos here on the channel, using links on screen or in the video description. Let me know about the counterfeits that sit proudly in your collection. And thank you all for watching, and as always, keep collecting.